So I have a potentially wild theory about what some of the secrets Bungie are withholding from us. So, in case you're not up to speed, which would be impressive at this point, Bungie just got done doing a live stream as of yesterday, as the time of this was recorded. Bungie just got done doing a live stream where they talked about some of the weapons that are going to be coming into the Light update. A lot of old nostalgic favorites, things like the Luna's Howl, the Recluse, the Mountaintop, the Blast Furnace, the Hammerhead, and so on and so forth. Many people have done a video on it at this point, so you can go check those out. Plenty of cool rolls and stuff on it. But what I want to focus on today is a little tantalizing secret, a little tantalizing tease that Bungie left right at the end of this stream. Just this little offhanded remark about there being potentially more secrets. You'll have to wait and see. Just this little bit right here. Let me play it for you.
Also, we'll be going to go ahead and walk through the PvP map pack as well. So if you want to see everything that's going to be coming in those 3 maps, next week will be your time. And there might be a few more additional surprises that we'll have in store for you.
That right there. What's going on there? We know that the next stream that we're going to get is going to talk about the map pack that we're going to get, as well as talking about a new exotic or an exotic mission. And I have a couple theories as to what that might be, as well as a couple other things I want to point out that might be missed. You might be thinking, well, yeah, how much can we really miss from this? There wasn't a whole lot, right? I mean, maybe some perk rolls or whatever, right? Well, for example, while the player in question here was looking at the attunements for some of these weapons, you'll notice that they'll walk past this little mark right here, which Bife has noticed so expertly, that there's Grimoire. The Grimoire cards, which is neat. It just goes to show that there's more in here than perhaps meets the eye. We're getting the Brave Arsenal. This is the Hall of Champions. One of the things that we're going to see is Super Black, which is really cool. I love seeing that Super Black is sort of so it's a break-in case of emergency thing for Bungie here. It definitely feels like they've been holding on to it up until this point. I love how it's being treated. That's all fantastic. But what is that exotic weapon that we're going to get? And how can I even be sure that I'm even in the ballpark that we're going to get anything at all? Well, see, here's the thing. Bungie has patterns. They have certain ways that they operate. For example, I'm going to play for you a short that I've put up long time ago on this channel, far before we've gotten all the exotic weapons that we currently have. For Strand, take a look. Without looking it up, name me every exotic Strand weapon in the comments. Think you got it? If your memory is decent, you should have named Quicksilver Storm, the Final Warning, and the newest Strand weapon, the Navigator. But I am noticing a hole here. Well, 2 to be exact. Do you see it? Let me help you out. This is the Needle of Fate, an exotic Strand bow. Now, you'll notice what's missing there. Wishkeeper. Wishkeeper was not announced at the time of this short, but guess what's out right now? Wishkeeper. Is that us being lucky? Yeah, probably. But it was picked off of just understanding how Bungie operates. They tend to make decisions on certain things that follow a particular pattern, as their design principles seem to be well plotted, let's put it that way. So, like I said, there are potential secrets, and Bungie has left a couple things here and there that I think, kind of demonstrate that. I want to talk about the first thing that might give away what this potential exotic, or what this potential of having any weapon at all could be. They brought back the Gift of Thunder. Now, what this is meant to do is this was meant to get your power level up, get it up to par with what activities are actually available. Because this is free to everybody, this is really nice. This tends to give you weapons and gear that, well, at least back in the day, focused on the Arc side of things. It would give you Thunderlord and such like that. But this was on the back of Arc 3.0 being out. So Gift of Thunder is kind of out of place. Is it Bungie being lazy and just kind of just grabbing the nearest thing that they know already works? Yeah, maybe, but why not just make it a gift from Shaxx? Why not give people Crucible gear? Why not give people the seasonal gear that's already available? There's plenty of ways that this could have been handled. They could have easily just rebranded it, changed the name. That wouldn't have been hard, but they specifically kept it as the Gift of Thunder. Does that mean that Thunderlord is this exotic? Maybe. But we've already got Thunderlord, and it works well. I don't think that's likely, however. I think what's perhaps much more likely is the option of getting a new exotic arc weapon, perhaps one from D1. What that might be, I'm not entirely certain, as we didn't have a fantastic list of exotic arc heavy weapons specifically. But what if it's not a heavy weapon? What if it's the Zalos Supercell? Now, we have so many weapons that are similar to Zalos Supercell, so I doubt that that's what's happening here. And they're going to be trying to pick weapons that are nostalgic. They're trying to pick the greatest hits of all time. Let's leave that thought here for a second. Don't know why, but my suspicion tends to err a little bit towards disappointing. I think that Bungie might potentially bring back the Whisper mission, for the Whisper of the Worm specifically. Yes, I'm focused on heavy. The main reason for that is that it's the one slot that is missing a lot of representation. They don't have a lot of options in here. But that could be fine. You don't need a lot of heavies in order to make this, you know, I mean, and the roles that we've seen have been fantastic. Something like Rampage and Killing Talion and LMG is kind of incredible. Some people have proposed the idea of Icebreaker. It is a all-time fan favorite. Some people have proposed like No Land Beyond, which I think is perhaps less likely, but one of those two, iconic sniper rifles from Destiny 1, infamous sniper rifles from Destiny 1, potentially. But I think what's much more likely here is if we chose perhaps one of the most nostalgic weapons of all time. Something that's already been sort of teased at this point, as we already know it's going to exist, and it's possible that Bungie has already made it work. They've play tested it, and we know that they can move it up, right? Something that was meant to be released during the final shape, that was actually on time, that they can parse out a little bit earlier. And what's more nostalgic than the Kvostov? Think about it. It is the starter weapon unless you were a Destiny 2 Year 1 vanilla vet, which would have been at that point the Damaged Traveler's Chosen. But we've gotten an exotic version of that. A exotic Kvostov just lines up. It makes perfect sense because this would be coming out, like I said, roughly about the same time. They likely would have already had a blueprint for how this would work. It is so nostalgic. Like, this is a weapon all the way back from Destiny 1. It's nostalgic for the players who have just begun their journey within Destiny 2. It's an exotic that fits in the kinetic slot. Yes, sure, maybe it doesn't fit that heavy category. Absolutely, but as we know, kinetics can be a little bit easier to balance as they don't have to go crazy with the verbiage and such. I think that the exotic Kvostov is going to be announced on the next stream. Perhaps I am crazy. And if you've been a member or a fan of this channel for a while, you know that that's 100% likely. And also I'll throw it out there that I think Stasis is getting buffed because dude would not break a Stasis crystals. Subscribe, bless your faces, deuces.